Hey.
Hey.
Has everyone filled out the census?
Yeah,
Yeah, of course.
Nah, it doesn't help my community.
What?
The census data determines funding for services and infrastructure in our communities.
Like what?
We'll show you.
Hi everyone, I'm at the hospital right now, and a reason why you should fill out the census is because a lot of the money will be invested in hospital and healthcare resources.
Hey guys, I'm at the park, and if you didn't know, filling out the census gets more funding for renovated parks and also creates safer playgrounds for children.
Now I'm in Rhodes, and your response for the 2020 census, which includes every person living in the U.S., may help decide when and where roads and bridges will be built in your community.
Hi everyone, now I'm at the school, and the 2020 census will actually also benefit the school systems and education in general because there will be more money for teachers to support their students fully.
Did you know it also affects the overall community? More than $65 billion in federal funding flows back to the states and local communities each year based on the census data.
Wow, so the census really is important.
Of course it is important, and that's why you need to tell your friends, your neighbors, and everyone you know to fill out the census so we can help our communities grow.
Hi everyone, happy Sunday. Hope that everybody has enjoyed the week, and right now is nice and comfy in your homes, preparing for this upcoming week. So I know that for those of you that are here in Texas, in the Gulf Coast, we definitely have a very interesting week ahead with with the storm that's on the coast. So wanted to make sure and just remind everybody to to make a plan to just take care of everything that you need as far as like your emergency preparedness plan. And yeah, I mean, hopefully, I think that right now with the way that the weather is looking, for those of us that are in Houston, we definitely will be getting some rain, but I think overall we will be fine. But just make sure that you have a plan. For those of you that are in Galveston, listen to your officials so that you're making the appropriate arrangements for any sort of evacuation, and just prepare for this week. We have a lot of things going on here in OCA right now. We are on, it's September 20th. Our month is wrapping up, and we're 10 days away from the census deadline. So we really want to encourage everybody to take this moment to fill out your census form because it's extremely important, especially, with what I just mentioned when it comes to like emergencies and disaster relief, and knowing the amount of people that live in the communities is extremely important for budgeting, for financing, for any sort of relief that comes into our counties, our cities, our states. So we have to make sure that we're filling it out. So right now, I think is a really great time for you to just go on to my 2020 census.gov and fill it out because the deadline is fast approaching. We're 10 days away, and we really want to make sure that you're all taking advantage of this opportunity. It's our civic duty to go out and vote, but it's also our civic duty to make sure that we get counted so that our governments know, local, state, federal, know how to allocate resources in our community. So make sure that you're going to the website. It's here. And actually, you know what? Let me make this nice and big for everybody. So take a screenshot of this and make sure that you're getting it out to your network, to your friends, to your family, to all of your loved ones, and everybody. So yes, thank you for joining us this Sunday. I know that it's not our usual day. But this week we did have, you know, some unexpected things come up, and so we had to move the date to Sunday. And here we are. I'm about to bring Oscar in to cook with us, or to cook, and we're just going to be, you know, following along. But I did want to, you know, just make sure and address a couple of things. And you know what? Here's another reminder, but let me just play a quick video for you. So once the video ends, we're going to have Oscar pop up on screen. So here's another PSA from OCA. What's up?
Hey Maria, how's it going?
Good, and you?
I'm doing all right, thanks.
That's great. Yeah, so I'm excited about this dish, the twice cooked fish.
Yes, yeah, I am too. So yeah, so the twice cooked fish is a dish that is so a lot of people know about like twice cooked pork, which is a really traditional like Szechuan dish. Twice cooked fish is a little bit different. It's called twice cooked fish because it's cooked. It's basically cooked 2 times. The first time is kind of a frying, so we fry the fish, and then the second time we stir fry it with like some other ingredients. So we're actually cooking it. We're cooking it really just 1 time, and that's the frying. And then the second time is just we're just adding some other ingredients and tossing it in, and then flavoring it up. Right, so it's twice cooked fish because of that. So yeah, are you ready to get started?
I mean, I'm ready. I think that
Right.
this is going to be really interesting, and
Right.
I can't wait.
All right, cool. Okay, so let's get started. So I actually got started a little bit before we're getting started. And I did it by, what I did off camera was I prepped our fish. So the recipe calls for like snakehead, steelhead trout or something. And it's like a fillet of that. You can basically get any whitefish fillet as long as any whitefish fillet that doesn't have a flesh that is too firm. So let me think of, so anything like tilapia or cod would do pretty well here. I got, let me see what I got. I got rock sole. I don't know what that is, but I picked it up from the store because it was a white fish and it had skin on, and it was a pretty soft, had a pretty soft flesh, right? So the reason I didn't pick a hard flesh fish is just because I don't really want that texture, and it kind of, a softer textured fish kind of better resembles what the recipe is asking for.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So
I mean,
like
but if anything, I'm sorry, but if anything, we could also ask like the person at the fish market, right, to kind of recommend a fish.
Yeah, if you don't know how to like pick fish, definitely ask the person behind the counter at the fish market, and just tell them they're looking for a white fish with kind of a soft flesh, and you want a fillet. It's really, really easy. So, and then most fish counters will fillet a fish for you. So if you look at a fish and you want like and they only sell whole fish, but you like the fish and want to use that as the fillet, then you can probably ask the person behind the counter to fillet it for you. So pretty easy. All you need to do is just make sure you go home and pick out the bones if there are any left. But yeah, like I said, I got some rock sole, and off camera I marinated this a little bit. So what I have in here is ginger slices, like ginger slivers. You can see some of them. Like here's one. There's a bunch like in the front here. I also put in some Chinese cooking wine, Shaoxing wine. I put in some soy sauce, so it's this soy sauce.
Hello Kitty.
the Hello Kitty soy sauce. And I think I also put in a little bit of sugar. So I'm not going to pull the sugar down from the shelf, but it's just normal sugar. You just put a little bit in. And I think I should have been telling you the amount. So the sugar, I just put like a couple of pinches. I just got like a little bit and put it in. I would estimate that to be about like half a teaspoon, maybe a little bit more. The recipe doesn't call for this much chicken. This is like, not chicken, this much fish. I have about 2 or 3 pounds of fish here, but the recipe calls for like 600 grams, which I can tell you is not this much.
Okay.
So I put a little bit more of everything than the recipe called for. So I have about half a teaspoon of sugar in here, about 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of the Shaoxing wine. The salt, I have about half a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon of it.
Okay.
You want to be kind of light on the flavoring with the fish because fish is a really delicate meat. So just don't flavor it too much because then it'll be really salty.
Okay.
So I had it sitting in here for about half an hour now. I've had it sitting here for about half an hour. And this recipe we're doing today, we're going to be using a new technique, and that's shallow frying.
Ooh.
So shallow frying is a version of frying that is like normally when you fry something, you have a very, very big like pot with like a bunch of oil in it. Shallow frying is a way to fry something without using that much oil. So it saves on oil for use. It's not as expensive. And it's a little more kitchen friendly because you can use a small amount of oil and you don't need to have like a giant pot. So you don't need to have a big pot to do this. So what I have right now on the stove is I have about a half cup of avocado oil. You can use, I guess, like peanut oil or any type of frying oil that you want. But I have a half cup of avocado oil, very, very high smoke point, which is what I want for frying. So that just means that it heats up to a very high temperature. So I'm going to turn my heat up to around medium, and I'm going to let this oil heat up. We want to make sure that when we drop our fish in, that the fish reacts instantaneously to the oil. We want it to fry. That means we want it to create a really crispy outside skin. And if the oil's not hot enough, we won't be able to do that. Normally, you would have some kind of thermometer, maybe like a little like heat gun thing, a little thermometer to measure the temperature of the oil. But I don't have that. So how I do it is I basically, I'll take a pair of chopsticks and I'll dip it in whatever that I'm going to fry. So I'm going to dip it in the fish in a sec. After this heated up, I'm going to put that in here. I'm going to see if it starts reacting with the oil. If it starts reacting, which means there's a bunch of bubbles that form around it, you hear the sound of the stuff in your chopsticks cooking, that means it's hot enough. So we're going to let it heat up, and I'm going to go back to the cutting board and do the rest of the prep for the fish. So to fry this, we're actually going to put in, so this is for marinating, we're going to put in about half a cup, I guess like a third to half a cup of cornstarch. And we're going to put that on the fish and just mix it up.
That's interesting. So what does the cornstarch, what does it do?
So the cornstarch is going to be the thing that coats all the fish. And then when we fry it, it's going to be the thing that reacts with the oil to create that crispy skin, or that crispy outside layer.
Oh,
so you can use like flour or stuff for this. So I'm really just estimating here. I'm going to say that's about, oh my God. So that was about a fourth of a cup. So I'm going to just put a little more in. And you can always put more if you need to. So I'm just going to do is I'm going to mix it. Make sure all of my fish all my fish is coated with this
the
cornstarch.
Mm-hmm.
I'll put a little more in.
And so I guess it kind of like helps lock in the flavor as well, right? Of your marinade.
Yeah, sort of. I mean, the flavor doesn't really need to be locked in because the meat, when you marinate something, the flavor is going into whatever you're marinating already, right? So it's permeating into the meat of this fish. It's so there's not a lot to really, you don't really need to lock anything in. What this does is just helps create that crispy skin. We want to create a texture. So it feels like everything is pretty much coated. I'm going to wash my hands.
I mean, that's pretty awesome. And the cool thing about this is that I like the fact that, you know, I guess you could also like you said at the beginning, like use different meats, right? So today you're doing it with fish. You know, like I love chicken, so could do this recipe or similar recipe with chicken. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. You can do this with chicken, with pork, with fish. I wouldn't do it with beef, just because beef, when you like cook it through, tends to get really tough. So I wouldn't do this with beef. But chicken or pork would be really good with this. Shrimp would be really good with this too.
Ooh, that does sound good.
Yeah.
By the way, do you know how to do coconut shrimp? Because I've really been wanting to try that.
Coconut shrimp? I haven't cooked coconut shrimp specifically, but I've cooked like fried shrimp stuff before. I can do that. I could do that like on a different episode, like if that's what you want. I'm probably not gonna do it next week because I just did a fried thing. I'm gonna do a fried thing right now, so I'm probably not gonna do this
That's cool.
next week.
I'm just throwing it out there because you said shrimp. Yeah, you said shrimp, and that was like. So I'm submitting my my recipe now, or my request now. And I guess this is a good time to remind everybody, you can submit your recipe as well so that Oscar can try it in the upcoming episodes by going to the link. All right, sorry.
So the oil's still heating up a little bit, so I'm gonna introduce some of the other ingredients that we're gonna use today. So after we fried this, what we're gonna do is we're going to stir fry it in some flavoring, right? So what we're gonna use for flavoring, this is an ingredient we've already seen before. This is chili bean sauce. It's doubanjiang. We use this for our mapo tofu. I also got a chili black bean sauce. This is a new ingredient, and this is different because it's black beans. It has a more pungent flavor than a pungent like aroma, and a more pungent flavor than the doubanjiang does. We also have scallions. I've got four kind of, I guess, sprigs. I don't know what you call these. Four stalks of green onion. I've got 3 Thai chilies to add that spicy kick to this.
No,
you don't need to
add
this. You don't need to add this if you don't want it to be that spicy, because because these two together are already gonna be kind of spicy. So you don't need to add the chilies if you don't want to. So I have a little bit of ginger that I'm gonna slice up, and some garlic that I'm also gonna slice up. So I've just introduced you to the rest of the ingredients. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna check on the oil. So I'm gonna do what I did before. I'm gonna dip this pair of chopsticks into the fish, get some of this stuff on it, and I'm gonna go to the oil and dip it in, see how it reacts. Okay, so it reacted instantly. So I dipped it in, and oil formed around it instantly. I could hear the sound of it cooking. I'm going to turn it up a little bit now. I'm going to turn it to medium high. And the reason I'm turning it to medium high is because as soon as I drop that fish in, I'm going to do it in batches, but as soon as I put the fish in, the temperature of the oil is going to decrease. So what I want to do is make sure that the temperature of the oil remains at what it is right now while we're cooking. which means I have to increase it a little bit so that when I drop the fish in, it'll decrease down back to the normal level instead of dropping down to a level lower than what I need it to be. So I'm gonna just wait a couple more, like a minute or two more for this, and then I'm gonna drop the fish in. So, so while we're doing that, I'm just going to prep some of the other ingredients. I'm gonna chop my scallions up into just kind of thick, kind of big pieces like this.
Okay. And so why are they like big pieces?
Well, the big piece is because in this dish, the scallions are going to be kind of like vegetables. So you're going to stir fry them. It's kind of like you're adding some vegetable to it, and you want it to be bigger because it lends. So not only is it just more visually appealing as a bigger piece, like you have the gold brown of the fried fish, and then you have the green of these big pieces of scallion, and then a little bit of red from the Thai chilies. It's a color thing, and it's also like a kind of like a texture thing when you're eating. So you're eating this crispy fish, and then you have this little bit of like oniony flavor within these that is in like a larger piece, so you're not stuck trying to get like little small pieces of scallion to eat with this, because this isn't, the scallions in this dish are not really as much of a topping or like a dressing kind of thing than it is like a part of the dish. It's a vegetable that is a part of this dish.
Gotcha.
So the oil should be hot enough now. I'm gonna go back to the stove. I'm gonna start putting this stuff in.
I love how, so many things can happen on live TV.
All right, I just dropped one of these in, and it's cooking. You can probably hear it.
Yeah. It sounds like something yummy. And so you're doing, well, obviously you can't just dump everything in there, but are you also trying to, are you giving space like between, the pieces, or?
Not, well, I'm giving, so I want to have enough space in the pan for everything to breathe. Like, I'm not necessarily putting a certain amount of space in between each piece, but I'm just not overcrowding, I'm just trying to keep it not overcrowded. So this pot is about 5-6 inches in diameter. I'm putting in there like 5 pieces of fish at a time. I'm just getting another pair of chopsticks.
Okay. I mean, and that makes sense because like you said, you don't want to overcrowd. That's very true.
Yeah. So I'm flipping all of my fish pieces. They're a great golden brown color right now. I'm gonna fry them just a little bit longer. You definitely don't want to overcook these. It's fish, so it's very, very easy to overcook.
Okay, so like I don't really fry. Well, I don't know how to say it. Well, I guess I don't really do a lot of. Well, I just don't do a lot of cooking. So how do I know that? How do I know that it's like not undercooked, overcooked? Because I think that's one thing that I'm always afraid of whenever I do make something.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Like, how do I know if it's, that it's not undercooked or overcooked?
Okay, that's a really good question. Frying, it's a lot harder to tell when you're frying something. Say when you're frying chicken, basically what I look for is I want to look for when the skin turns golden brown. and crispy. Because the overall temperature of the chicken is going to influence the size of the. If you're talking about chicken, right? Chicken is probably the hardest thing to tell. Is the thing you really need to tell. Like if you're frying it, you definitely have to like fry it until it's completely cooked. Otherwise, you're eating some raw chicken, which is not good. Fish you can eat kind of raw and it's fine. So for fish, all I'm doing for fish right now is I just wanted to get to that color. I wanted to get to a nice gold brown color, and as soon as it hits that color, I'm going to take it out. And I want that color on both sides. Right, so this is a great example. This is a great example. Look at that.
Oh my gosh, that looks so pretty.
Yeah, so this is feeling pretty crispy. It looks nice and golden. I'm going to take it out. But for something like fish, for something like chicken, you gotta pay attention to color, and you definitely want to make sure that you're cooking it at least for like, there's like a certain. So let's say you're cooking chicken pieces that are this big, right? That are about as big as these fish are. So, so kind of small pieces. You can afford to cook these for a little bit less time. Maybe like I don't know, set like 6 or 7 minutes. I'm not an expert on frying, really. The times I have made fried chicken, what I've done is I basically waited until it achieves the golden brown color that I want. And then waited a little longer. So I'll wait. I'll wait until it gets the golden brown color, and I'll wait just a little longer, a few minutes longer. Watch as the color changes. Make sure it doesn't get too dark, but wait just long enough so that I can be sure that the chicken's cooked through. I don't have a good way to tell you. Like I don't know how people tell chicken's done. That you just like cook it for a certain amount of time. If you have like a whole piece of chicken, like chicken thigh or chicken drumstick, chicken breast, each of these has like a certain amount of time you should probably cook it for. For example, like a chicken thigh or chicken drumstick, you might want to cook that for, I don't know, 12 minutes, 14 minutes. And for chicken breast, you might want to cook it for a little longer than that. Say like 17 to 19 minutes. These are just estimates. I'm not an expert on this by any means, so don't take my word for it.
No, and I mean, I guess, the more you do it, then you also kind of, find the tricks of the trade, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that makes sense. But that fish looks so nice.
Yeah, I can't wait. So this is gonna fry. I have like a couple of minutes to do some other stuff, so I'm gonna go back and just slice up some of my other ingredients.
Cool. And so now you're slicing the ginger.
Yeah, so slicing ginger just in little slices. Doesn't have to be too small. I prefer to keep my ginger slices a little bit bigger so I can see them. I don't really like ginger very much. I don't like ingesting it. So I would like to see the ginger so I know what not to eat. I'm slicing up some garlic now. This is all for flavoring.
And you're slicing all of them kind of the same way, kind of like long.
Yeah.
Long.
Yeah. So normally you'll see me kind of mincing them or like cutting them real small. But today I'm just slicing them because I guess the recipe calls for it. And I'm sure you could really just mince these, but I like the idea of having like slices of ginger and slices of garlic that look visually appealing within the dish. So you're seeing these nice slices of all of these ingredients.
Yeah. No, and I mean, I think, yeah, like you said, I mean, having the scallions nice and long and everything is like, what do you call it? Kind of, I mean, kind of like a stir fry, right? Like at the end, it'll kind of have like that look.
Yeah, it looks colorful. It looks like something you want to eat.
Mm-hmm. Like, I really need to get cooking.
All right, let me go back and check on the fish.
All right, let's bring on. You know, I'm really enjoying this 2-camera thing. So for everybody that's watching, I'm here behind the controls and I can see all the cameras, and then I'm deciding which one to put on camera. So
Yeah,
it's cool to have the 2 angles.
This is a great setup because now you can see me at the stove, and then you can see me at the chopping board, which we weren't really able to do very well before. Actually, I got a ring light recently, and it came with like a little stand for my phone, which helps a lot. Yeah.
This is really exciting. Hey Oscar, you need to take some behind the scenes pictures of like the setup, so then that way we can like post it and be like, this is what it looks like.
Just to give you guys an idea, my phone right now is the one tracking the chopping board. So this is my phone camera. This is my phone camera here. It's pointed down here, pointed at me, and then over here is my laptop camera. So my laptop camera is here, and it's actually on top of my stand mixers, the bowl for my stand mixer. So it's on top of the big bowl right now, so that it's the right height, so it gets me up here, and it also gets the stove.
Like those are the life hacks right now. Setting up the right camera angles for all the live streams.
All right, so just got more of that done. This is gonna, so I have quite a bit of fish. It's gonna take me a few batches to really get this done. I've done 2 so far.
Well, that's gonna be a lot of fish.
What was that?
No, I'm saying that's like a lot of fish.
Yeah, it's like
a good amount of fish.
I have a few pounds of. I have like 2 or 3 pounds in here. It's a lot of fish. It's definitely more than the recipe had asked for, but I'm making a lot, so whatever, I guess. So the rest of the time right now is mainly going to be spent here and I'm done with the chopping board basically. I have nothing else to do, so I'm gonna stay here and watch the fish. So if there are any questions or if there's anything, like this is the time to ask questions if you have questions.
Yeah, I think so. I'm still very like intrigued about this whole twice. Like I mean, I know you explained it, like the whole twice cooking thing, but
yeah,
you know, to me, again, somebody that doesn't cook, it's like, okay, so this is the first part of the process, and then this is the second part. So I'm really interested in that, and kind of like, all right,
yeah,
what's the next step?
I would say it's kind of like, you know, when you make chicken wings. You want to, when you're making buffalo wings, right? You want to fry the wings up first so they're nice and crispy, and then the second step is putting all the sauce on it and tossing it. So we're basically doing that, except we're adding a few more things to it. Instead of just tossing it in a sauce, we're going to toss it in a mixture of the green onions, the garlic, ginger, chili, and the 2 bean paste. So we're basically doing like we're basically making chicken wings kind of, but with fish, and our sauce is just a little more complicated than like Frank's hot sauce, you know, and butter.
But for that mix, like you don't have to necessarily prep that whole sauce mix ahead of time. Like it's just something that you can kind of like have your bowl full of fish and then just start adding stuff and then kind of mix it, right? I mean, I guess that's the other question. Okay.
I'm sorry, what?
I guess that would be my question. Like, okay, do I need to go and like prepare it so that, I don't know, somehow the sauce is marinated or something, and then, you know, kind of bring the fish and like toss everything up, or just like drop everything and then mix it like a salad
that's a
bowl?
great question. So the sauce is something we're actually going to cook. So I am going to be sauteing the green onions. This is all going to actually go into another pan. I'm going to cook that all in this, and I'm going to put all the fish in here and just toss it around a little bit and cover all the fish with the sauce. So it's a sauce we have to actually cook.
Oh, okay. See, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, because whenever you're doing wings, I mean, you know how like sometimes you can see, because I don't really do wings at home, so my exposure to wings has only been at restaurants. But you know how they have like the bowl and then they just like toss it up and then serve it. But this is a sauce that you're cooking as well. Okay, so so then is that where your fish will also finish cooking if for whatever reason while it was frying it didn't fully cook?
So you definitely want to actually finish the cooking while you're frying. It's very important to do all the actual cooking, all the cooking of the fish in the frying process, because the sauce, all you really want to do is toss it. Like you don't want it to cook in there, because if you're cooking your fried fish in the sauce, it's gonna get soggy. So you don't actually want to do any of the cooking in the sauce. You want to cook it all in the oil, fry it up first, and then at the very, very end, just toss it a little bit in the sauce and then serve it immediately afterwards.
Okay. So then that keeps that crispiness to it.
Yeah, you want to keep the crispiness.
Okay. Yeah, because I think that's one thing that I've always admired about certain dishes when they have like sauce. Just how they can still keep the crispiness, but then it looks like that sauce, it also kind of feels like it was cooked in that sauce. So I've always been baffled by that. It's like, okay, so how do they do this? So, okay. So I guess I'll be seeing it in action.
Let's look at one of the fish pieces. All right, so let's look at this.
Let's see.
A nice color. I'm gonna break it open. Inside is the white flesh. I'm gonna take a bite out of this one.
Oh man. That looks and sounds like it was yummy.
Great flavor. Great flavor. As the salt and the soy sauce, Szechuan wine, has a real it's not heavy. It's not a heavy flavor. It's a little bit salty, and it's very satisfying tasting. It's like very filling tasting. It has a lot of umami. I'll say that. I don't like using the word. I don't like using that word, but basically it has a great depth. It tastes. It's not light, but it's not heavy. It tastes complicated. It tastes like something your mouth is full of something that has a great like depth of flavor. I don't know.
Okay. Interesting.
And it's hard to describe.
And so right now, are you halfway through the fish? Does it matter, like, like the amount of fish that you're making, or like how long?
No. You can make however much you want of this. I am choosing to make a lot of this. So I'm about, I don't know, I'm almost done. I'm about like 3/4 of the way through, I guess. I think in about 2 batches I'll be done. I think this took total, like, right now I think it's my 4th batch right now, so I guess it took a total of 6 batches. Yeah, if you use a bigger pot, it'll it'll use less time. If you have less fish, it'll be less time. But I'm cooking a lot of fish in a small pan, so I have to do a little more work.
Hey, and so just remind me, like, how much of the pan did you fill up with oil?
So I put about a quarter of a cup to about half. I put about half a cup of oil, so it's really only filling up. It's like maybe it's less than half an inch.
Okay.
Very, very shallow. It's just enough to maybe cover some of the fish pieces, and the fish pieces are like less than a centimeter thick.
Okay.
So
okay.
Very, very compared to like normal frying, very, very little oil.
Gotcha. So would you say that this type of frying actually speeds up the process or ensures that the meat or the fish that you're frying cooks more thoroughly, or does that not matter?
I think the main thing about this method is that it saves on oil.
Okay.
Yeah. Normally frying takes a lot of oil, and that's why a lot of people avoid it. Is because you don't want to have like a huge pot of oil that you're using to fry, and then at the end you have there's nothing for you to do with the oil anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And you're left to like try to find a way to throw that oil away. That's why a lot of people don't like to fry. But this method really helps you save on oil.
Mm-hmm.
And you're getting like a similar result. You're getting a nice crispy result, but with a fraction of the oil you might have to use if you're frying it traditionally. This is just a convenient way for someone to fry at home.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, because I've always wondered about that. Whenever I see something getting dropped into like this deep pan full of oil, and I'm just wondering, like, is it really cooking thoroughly? Like, because I'm like, okay, I know the outside is getting nice and crispy, but like, what about the inside? So, yeah, I've always wondered about that.
Yeah, there's no need to worry. Actually, when you're frying, what's happening is it's cooking all around you. I mean, it's cooking all around the piece of chicken. So, for example, if you're frying a piece of chicken, drop in the oil, it's being cooked from all directions. So it's actually, if you're worried about like it being cooked thoroughly, it's actually a little bit better to fry it so it's sure it cooks thoroughly than to like try to cook in a pan, because cooking in a pan, you gotta flip it to the other side you have to do a little more work to like make sure it cooks thoroughly in a pan. When you're frying it, the oil is all around the chicken, the oil is all around the piece of meat that you're putting in there, and it's cooking from every single direction. So you're actually cooking things a little more evenly if you're frying it.
Okay. So that, yeah. And see, that's definitely always been something that I wonder. But for those of you that are joining us, if you have any questions or comments, drop them into the comments, and Oscar will answer them. Today we are doing the twice cooked fish. So let me post the recipe on here, which you can do a screenshot of. And yeah, I'm really excited about this, about how the final dish will look like. Are you gonna plate it like that, Oscar?
What? Am I gonna what?
Are you gonna plate the dish the way that it's in the picture?
No. No. I'm just gonna put it in the plate. I'm not too worried about plating, honestly.
I always joke that, plating is extremely important.
Sometimes it is. I mean, it's not for me, but sometimes it is.
Yeah. But yeah, so this is the recipe. Were there any changes that you made from this recipe to what you're cooking today?
I think just
For the most-
one big one, and that is I don't have any garlic sprouts, which I don't really think is a huge issue. The garlic sprouts serve kind of the same function as the green onions do, and I have a lot of green onions, so I think we're fine there. And then the garlic flavor I can get from the pieces of garlic that I have. I have a little more actual garlic than I asked for. I asked for 2 cloves. I had like, I don't know, 6.
Gotcha. Okay. So this is the inspiration, or this is the recipe inspiration for today's dish. It's a Szechuan style twice cooked fish, and the recipe came from China Szechuanfood.com. So yeah, make sure to take a screenshot, and you can cook along with Oscar. Right now, he's finishing frying the pieces of fish, but if y'all could see how golden brown and beautiful those look, I mean, I think now I want fish.
Yeah. I'll show you guys again after I put this last batch in.
Cool. Yeah, so it was funny because last week he made dumplings. And so Oscar is actually in San Antonio. I'm here in Houston, I guess, Houston, Texas. But yeah, his dumplings look so good that I ended up going to a local Asian restaurant that I had tried dumplings a couple of days before and ordered some dumplings myself. So I was inspired. I was inspired that day.
How were the dumplings?
They were good. They were really good. Yeah, so I know oh gosh, I'm really bad. What is the name? It's the Japanese style.
Oh, gyoza?
Gyoza. Yeah. So it's gyoza dumplings. Would it be is it called gyoza dumplings or just gyoza?
It's just gyoza.
Okay. Yeah. So and the funny thing was that so they have that gyoza, and then they also have, you know, Chinese dumplings. And so when I asked them, like, what do you recommend, immediately they were like, gyoza. Like, okay, I'll take it. I will take it. So, but yeah, it was really good. And then I also got the wontons, which that's another thing.
Cheese inside?
Yeah, like the little cheese puffs. Like, okay, do you have any idea what kind of cheese they use? Because it's so good.
It's cream cheese.
I really like those. Oh, really? That's okay. Cool. So
yeah.
I might try one of those. Try to do one of those here at home one of these days.
Yeah, you should try and make some.
I don't know. I'm still afraid. I am not the best in the kitchen, so yeah. This is like too high level for me.
You gotta start somewhere. Fry. I guess. Yeah. If you might not want to start with if you don't fry a lot at home, you might want to start with something not fried, and then work your way up to frying stuff, and maybe doing some shallow fry stuff like this, so that you get an idea of what you're looking for when you're frying. Because for the wontons, you're probably gonna need a pretty big pot with a pretty like deep a deep pot of oil. Because the wontons are like this tall, they're like this tall, so you want to be able to cover all that, right? So before you start using frying methods that take a lot of oil, you might want to start out doing something that takes a little bit of oil, like this. Yeah.
No, that's true. Yeah. And so what are some, I guess, just looking ahead, what are some of the recipes that you're considering doing in the next coming days or weeks, or maybe for this upcoming week?
Yeah, so the next one is actually coming up this Thursday. I have no clue yet what I'm gonna make. I think, I've made dumpling. I've made making fried fish. Oh, what I might do.
How about a soup?
You want to make a soup?
I don't know. I'm kind of like, trying to have a little bit of a variety, and then also just kind of keeping in mind like how the weather is. I don't know how it is in San Antonio right now, but like here it's not sweater weather, but it's like very, very light sweater
It's not
weather,
sweater
at least
weather
for me.
yet.
It's not like the official sweater weather that everybody would think, but at least, for Texas standards, all right, let's just put it that way. For Texas standards, right now we're having a lot of wind. We do have the storm that's in the Gulf. It's going to be pretty rainy all week, especially in the Gulf Coast. So I don't know. I'm just thinking like a soup would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like, something. Yeah. So just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there.
I'm open to making soup. I will research some soups to make. I don't know if you want to stick with something Asian.
Yes.
I will look at some. I know some soups that I just make like for myself, but I want to make something interesting for you guys. So I will look into it.
I think it would be cool.
Yeah.
Or if
soup I can make.
Yeah, or if you want to do like something that's not Asian, then maybe just adding the Asian flair, just to kind of keep the theme, because I think at the end of the day, the flavors in Asian cuisine are just so like, unique, flavorful, good. I'm still discovering so much that it would be really cool to do something. So I would suggest either something Asian or adding the Asian flair to something that's not.
Yeah, I'm open to that. I recently made not too recently, but a couple of weeks ago, I made a barley soup. It's definitely not Asian. It's more of like a European American type soup, but like barley and beef soup. That I don't know if I could turn that Asian. There are so many like Asian soups already that I'm probably just like I don't really need to pick like a non-Asian one and turn it Asian. But I'll do some research. I'll look into Asian soups that I can make. And I'll do that. Maybe I'll make another fish item. One I'm thinking about right now is maybe fish head soup.
Okay.
Yeah, my mom used to make a fish head soup with pickled cabbage and fish head. A lot of it. So at the end, the product is kind of the end soup is like a spicy, sour, fishy soup. I don't know. It's a flavor that some people might not like, but it's something that I definitely did grow up with. So yeah. Okay. I could also make. There are like a bunch of staple soups. Like you go to any Chinese restaurant, there's egg drop soup.
Yeah.
Yes.
So a really quick question regarding fish. So is the head the most flavorful piece? Because the other day, one of my mom's friends actually brought over fish head soup, but like Salvadoran style. And now that you're mentioning it, I'm just like, is that how it works? Like,
I don't know. It's a good question. I don't have an answer for you. I think the reason why there's so many like fish head soups from like so many different cultures is because fish head is a piece of the fish that you can't really eat another way, right? Like if you're frying fish,
okay,
you can't really eat a fried fish head. Like that's not really a great way to eat it. You could, but what's the point of doing that for the little bit of flesh, the little bit of meat that's on a fish head, right? Like it's just kind of a leftover piece that a lot of people are trying to find a way to use. A soup is just a great way to use leftovers.
That makes sense. Okay. That makes sense.
don't know if it's the most flavorful piece, but it's definitely one of the most convenient pieces to use for soup. I mean, you're not going to use it for anything else. So.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, that would be interesting. Personally, I'm not into, I'm not big on fish soup or like seafood soup. But I think at the end of the day, like, it would be cool to do something like that. So anyways, the thing is, think about it. See if maybe that's the direction, soup is the direction that you want to go into for this upcoming week. But I think it might be interesting.
I'll commit. I'll make a soup. I just don't know which soup yet.
All right, that's cool. So hopefully we'll be able to post the information up by, would you say Tuesday? Like what you decide?
Yeah, I'll decide by Tuesday.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So then that way we can send it out to everybody. We'll also include it into our newsletter. So so then that way we can, I just think that would be interesting. So
Yeah. Okay, so I realize the stream is going on. It's about to be an hour, and I've just finished cooking my fish. The rest of this shouldn't take too much longer. What I'm going to do now is I am going to move this oil off of the heat. I'm going to put my other pan in here.
Okay.
I need a little bit of oil, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little spoon. I'm going to take about a tablespoon of oil. Have it in the pan.
Smart. Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to let it heat up. I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit. I'm going to turn it to medium-low. What I'm going to do now is I have my doubanjiang, which is the chili bean paste. I'm gonna show it right here. It's not the black bean one. This is the chili bean paste.
Okay.
I'm gonna take about a tablespoon of it. Just drop it in here. I'm gonna let it cook until it has a nice aroma. And you want the oil to get red. So the chili bean paste, it's a red sauce. So I want the oil that it's in to get red before I start putting my other ingredients.
Oh, okay. And so, I mean, you definitely, that's the way that you want to start, right?
Yeah.
With the chili. Oh, I see that it's getting red.
Yeah, you see that?
Yeah.
So I can smell it. It has a great aroma right
Very
now.
cool.
Great aroma. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop in my black bean paste. Oh, my black bean sauce. About a tablespoon of that.
Okay.
And then I'm going to put in my ginger and garlic.
And again, you want it to be in that order?
Yeah.
Does the order matter? Okay.
A little bit. So not too much. I think the most important part is putting the doubanjiang first to get the red color, and then
okay.
I'm putting in the ginger and garlic right now. The ginger and garlic also kind of matters the order because what I want to do with that is I want to infuse all of the stuff in here with that flavor. I want to smell the ginger. I want to smell the garlic. And I want to do that before I start putting in my other stuff, like the chili I'm going to put in right now. Also, so that I can flavor what's in here already.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, I forgot. So for the chili, you chopped that up too, right?
Yeah, I chopped that up to little slices.
Okay.
So I'm just adding a little bit more oil because it is looking a little thin.
Okay.
Looking a little dry right now. So putting a little bit of oil so I have more sauce in here. Okay, I can smell the ginger and the garlic. Now I'm going to put in my green onions.
Man, I bet that smells so good.
Yeah, it smells great. There's the garlic, there's the ginger, the black bean sauce, and the doubanjiang, the chili bean paste. All smell very fragrant. I'm gonna turn the heat up just a little bit. Actually, I'm gonna keep it at medium low. I'm keeping it medium low because it's cooking. It's cooking well right now. I can hear it sizzling away. This means to me that says that I don't need to turn this up any higher for all the stuff in here to cook nicely. So I'm gonna cook this until the green onions become a little bit wilted. I don't want to cook them all. I don't want to cook them so that they're completely wilted, but I want them to cook all the way through. I don't want a piece of green onion to taste raw, right? That's what I mean when I say that the green onion in here is not really like a garnish. It's not supposed to be raw tasting. It's supposed to taste like it's a part of the dish.
Gotcha. And I love that taste too.
Yeah, and a green onion also gives because it is a vegetable cooking in here at a pretty low heat. It's also going to give a little bit of moisture to the sauce. It's going to give it a little more moisture so that when we put the fish in, it has something to cling to, right?
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, like I love grilled scallions.
Grilled scallions?
Wait, no. Green onions, whatever, those things.
I'm sorry, did you say grilled?
Yeah, grilled. Like whenever you make fajitas, then you just like put a bunch of those like green onions on the grill, and then you just eat it like that. Yes, Oscar, yes. That is the bomb.
See, I'm learning something new right now.
See, I can teach things too.
I mean, we all have a lot of things to learn. I didn't know that. That's really awesome.
Yeah, no, so that I don't know, and maybe that's like a big Latino thing because I was watching a documentary. I was watching PBS one day, and they were in Spain, and apparently, I don't know where in Spain, they do like these really interesting like get-togethers when they're harvesting green onions, because I guess that's like a thing, and so they put out like all these tables, and they put like, you know, butcher's paper on top of it, and then they grill like massive amounts of green onions, and then afterwards they like lay them out on the table, and they put like this sauce on top, and like people just like go at it and eat. And oh man,
That's
I was watching
crazy.
that and I was just like, that looks so good, because you know, like I if there's one thing, whenever we're barbecuing, grilling, like I love grilling vegetables, you know, like my zucchinis and you know, like asparagus, but then it's a staple. We always have to have onions. We always have to grill onions and green onions, like both kinds. So yeah, because that flavor is good, the taste.
So I'm going to show you what it looks like right now.
Ooh. Is that pretty green on the onions? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's all pretty wilted right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and toss my fish in.
Oh man.
Let's turn it up to high.
This is the good part.
Okay, I'm gonna try to toss this. This is not a very big pan either, so I don't know if this is gonna work.
Well, whatever happens, we have it on tape.
It's not working right now, so I'm gonna go ahead and toss it with my chopsticks. I'm trying to be a little careful with the fish. Fish is a kind of delicate meat. I'm taking it off the heat now. I'm gonna put a little bit of salt on it.
Okay.
This is like half a tablespoon. No, I'm sorry, half a teaspoon.
And toss it some more. Okay.
Yeah, I'll toss it a little bit more to make sure. I'm tossing right now mainly to get a mix of nice color and the fish. So I'm basically done.
Man, that looks amazing. So this plate, is this something that you just eat by itself? Do you eat it? Oh, yo. Yeah. Hold on. Go to the other. Yeah, go to the other camera. Hold on. Let me.
Here.
Oh, yes. Now that's where, yeah. Mm-hmm.
This is
that looks beautiful.
You eat this with rice. So look at this. It's coated with a nice sauce. I'm gonna take a bite.
All right, seriously, can you please send some over, por favor? That looks really good.
So good. It's a little bit spicy, a little salty, so crispy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try a bit of a green onion. Green onion no longer has a spicy flavor of onion. It's just sweet now. So it's a great combination. I'm gonna take another bite.
Tofu Riot, what's up? Tofu Riot says, wow, that looks great. Never heard of this dish. Haha. This looks so good. I'm so hungry now.
You should definitely try Tofu Riot. It is so good. It is so good, and this is a great dish to have with rice. There's so much flavor in here, and rice is the perfect way to pair this because rice has no flavor, right? So this is a great way to pair rice. But yeah, this is spice cooked fish. Super yummy. I don't know what else to say. This is really good.
This is very unfair. No, but actually, this is a really important reason why you should all be cooking along with Oscar, so that then you can have your own version of this, what looks like a very delicious dish.
It's so good. But yeah, that's spice cooked chicken. That's spice cooked fish. I'm gonna figure out what soup I'm gonna make next week for y'all. Not next week, this Thursday. I'm gonna make a soup this Thursday. So for everyone out in Houston getting rained on, I make some soup so that you guys can feel warm and safe.
Yep. Sorry, I don't know what's going on. Oh. Okay. Sorry, there's stuff happening outside my window. But all right. Yeah, so give us your recipe for sure by Tuesday. So then that way we can get that out to everybody, and hopefully, everybody can join us on Thursday for the cook along. That will be very fun, and yeah, for everybody that's here in the Gulf Coast of Texas, make sure that you're listening to all of your officials, your local government officials, as far as like what you need to be doing in your community, preparing for the tropical storm that's out in the Gulf. So yeah, thank you, Oscar. Really appreciate you having the time to teach us this recipe, and yeah, can't wait for Thursday.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you guys like the dish today. Make sure to try it at home. If you do, send us a picture of it.
Yeah, perfect. All right. Well, everybody, have a wonderful Sunday. Take care, and Oscar, enjoy your dinner.
Thanks. All right. Night.
Bye, everybody.